When you were a kid, you grew up in Saco, Maine.
That's correct.
Which is kind of like, I mean, Arcata and Saco are both, towns of about 15,000. Seaside town. There used to be a lot of mills around here. Used to be a lot of mills in Saco. The difference, though, from West Coast to East Coast is that, East Coast seems to have so much more, like there's a lot of U.S. history. Like Saco's in York County, which is one of the oldest counties in the country. It was founded in the 1630s. Look.
Wow.
That's a lot of that's a lot of U.S. history.
Really smart dude.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
I can tell.
Thanks,
yeah.
Wikipedia. But so my question is, when you grow up, you don't, there's a way to look at it like this is just where you're from. If you grow up in Paris, you might not know it's an awesome city. When you grow up in a place with a lot of history, the way that Saco has, does it permeate into what you do now as a songwriter? Is it part of it, or do you just walk around going, "It's just my town"?
Well, I think that, like, when I came here today, I did not feel like, oh, it's just like Saco, but on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I feel, having grown up in Saco, I think that, when you are from the East Coast and there's all that history, I think there's a bit of sort of button-downness that goes along sometimes with being from the East Coast, and a sort of, not politically conservative, but sort of like aesthetically conservative, just the way we dress and the kind of, I don't know, there's a sort of introverted character to the state of Maine. People don't necessarily embrace other people, and it's not, but what it comes from is, I believe, and I feel this, comes from a spirit of authenticity. Like, you don't act like you know somebody if you don't know them. And I think, like, as I've traveled, and I've actually come to realize there are people that I meet and I feel like I know them. And I believe that now, that it's possible to know somebody from one meeting, and it's this kind of spiritual connection you sometimes feel without having the history with people. But in Maine, I think the culture is more like, no, that's not the case. You need to really have been here a long time for us to get to know you, and it feels different.
You said that you like touring on the Eastern Seaboard, and that you also you said, I like touring in the East, and I also like Northern California.
Mm-hmm. True.
So yay us. What is it about Northern California?
Well, I just feels good here. I feel comfortable. I feel like I get the sense there's an open-mindedness to this place, at least this town, and to the Bay Area. And I find that it's more artistically driven rather than like in terms of the music. It's not about the music industry here in Arcata, and I like that. I like playing places that are not about. Well, gee, maybe there's a talent scout out there and they're going to change your life, but rather we're here to connect with each other.
It's Catie Curtis on Upstage Live as you're just tuning in. And if you're listening on the radio, you can go over to khum.com and you can watch, because we got cameras and video streaming here. So, Catie Curtis, why don't you play some more songs?
Thank you very much. I'd like to bring Jenna Lindbo back out for this next song. Jenna's going to join me on the banjo this time, as well as singing. Every single time I tell my sister about all the difficulties of having a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, she just laughs because her kids have been through some rough teenage years. This is called Be 16 With Me, and it's written by Don White. Our kids are grown and now they're in their 20s. They live at home, they're never gonna leave. Why should they go? They got it good here, Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. Let's both get really drunk and put a big dent in her trunk. We'll drive real fast down the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we don't care. We'll be the ones up all night wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 again. Sure, our kids calling all our friends up and asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie and say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on. And when we come strolling in on Sunday morning, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church, kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we'll just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out. We'll be the ones lying through our teeth. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 with me. Pick it, Jenna. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. Let's both get really drunk and put a big dent in her trunk. And no one will know where we are till we come home in a police car. They'll be the ones trying to find the truth out. We'll be the ones lying through our teeth. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 with me. Yeah, thank you.
Catie Curtis on Upstage Live.